¿Qué onda, Raider Nation? Welcome, or should I say, welcome back to your favorite show, at least my favorite show, because my brother Chris is with me, the Raider Nation's Weekly Wire. Thanks for joining us again. We've been gone for, I want to say about a month and a half, and for good reasons. You know, there's been a lot of downtime with the Raiders, and we didn't want to come on here and speculate about a lot of information, talk about the what ifs. We wanted to give you news because we are the Weekly Wire. We give you information that's pertinent. And of course, the gentleman right here to my side is our wealth of knowledge. Again, it's Chris for Protect the Shield podcast, my brother. Thanks for being here again. I miss hanging out with you, miss talking ball with you. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I enjoy being back with my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? This is my show. You know, we always have fun talking about this team that we love, man. But, you know, it's time to get into it now because, you know, we got some stuff to talk about, some solid, you know, stuff. You know, we're not doing the speculation anymore. So, you know, our team is coming together. So it's an exciting time, you know. That was a rough season last year. And, you know, all of us were feeling down, especially me. You know, I was in the dumps, man. But, man, I'm feeling good now. And I'm glad to be able to talk ball with my brother again.
Yes, sir. Me too, man. You know, I've actually been somewhat disconnected from the Raider organization because I don't like this period of time where, again, the what ifs, the speculations come out, and I don't like it. So I kind of tune that off and I focus more on the Raider Nation, you know, on our fandom, doing the Stogie Nation with Violator.
You've been killing it, man.
It's been so much fun, brother.
Man.
You know, we've been hanging out, doing our thing, you know, and then also the Raider Nation roll call. Been doing interviews. I just finished Joe Morley. Did the TMBC Texas Takeover event, the Raider Crusader event. We did coverage for that. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun, you know, and it's again promoting the Raider Nation subculture with all of this. Now, right now that we don't have much to talk about as far as the team, but you know, there is some glimmer now. We're seeing some movement, some action that, you know, is getting a lot of the Raider Nation excited. But first, I wanted to ask you something because I don't understand the situation with the importance of the schedule drop. You know, because everybody, like a lot of content creators have been, you know, like, oh, I've gotten from good sources and this and that about days teams are going to play the Raiders. Why is it so important to know beforehand? I don't get it. You know, maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm ignorant. You know, what is it about that?
I mean, to be honest, I think that's just media in general. You know, everyone wants to be like, you know, have the inside scoop. You know, they want to be able to break the news or be one of the first to report something. But
right.
Yeah, like honestly, like the only reason I get excited for the schedule release is because I like to jump on, you know, booking, you know, me being all the way in the Midwest. Like I gotta, you know, book my trips and like I try to do that pretty quickly, you know, before prices go crazy. But yeah, I never quite understood why, you know, there's always those fake leaks and all that stuff. And, you know, I never really got into that. But yeah, and plus, you know, me as a content creator, you know, when things get kind of slow, you know, you just need content to talk about. So, you know, that's just something that we do. But yeah, you're right. It is kind of silly how people running around trying to be the first to have stuff.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but it seems weird to me because we all know now, you know, and it's been a day since recording this, you know, so, you know, it's all good now. It's all good.
Right.
We know what's going down. But before we get to our season schedule, let's rewind a little bit, you know, because we haven't talked to the nation about some activities that had occurred in the off season. And obviously we did talk about Max leaving and Max coming back. You know, that's done. You know, forget about it. He's a Raider until he's not.
Right.
You know? But soon after, the Raiders went on a free agency frenzy. They started spending some serious money on picking up free agents. Talk to us a little bit about some of the more important key acquisitions, because I know that there were a few. Again, I haven't really been in touch with the organization on who's done or who was picked up, how good they are, how good they're not, or what can you tell us about these players?
Yeah, well, we definitely had an active off season, especially free agency. The crazy thing is once we traded Max, like you said, we went on, a spending spree, especially on the defensive side. Well, we did get Tyler Linderbaum, so we got the big money center who we really needed, which is, he can be a quarterback's best friend. So you're just starting there, you get one of the best centers in all of the NFL. So it's a guy that's going to be able to, for one, protect our quarterback, whether it's, Kirk Cousins or Fernando. We know it's going to be Fernando, in the future, but, he also is going to be the guy that kind of, he's the quarterback of the line. He's calling out, blitz pickups and stuff like that. So he's going to do a lot to, really help, Kirk or Fernando really get settled and feel comfortable. So he was by far the most important one. Being able to get Kirk Cousins, I think that is huge. Being able to have somebody that's already knowing Kubiak's system, who's done it before, a guy that's a veteran, a guy who knows how to be a pro, a guy who knows how to prepare. He can be a good person for Mendoza to learn from. Now, I will say, I think I'm one of the few that may think like this, but I don't think Kurt is going to be necessarily the best, quote unquote mentor, because I think Kurt is coming to compete. And I know everyone's like, hey, we drafted Mendoza, but Kurt is going to try to put his best film, his best performance on the game film, whether he thinks he can be a starter in this league. So whether he's going to try to do the best he can so he can have another opportunity. Mm-hmm. But, I don't think Kurt's going to be the guy that's going to have the clipboard and just, hey, let me help you get better. I think Kurt's going to compete. But anyway, I think that was a great pickup. Guys on defense.
I definitely agree with you in that point. He is not here to be somebody's shoulder to cry on.
Right.
He's here to compete, which I think it's beneficial for Mendoza because now they're not just handing him the team in a silver platter. He's going to have to work for it. And if he's not good enough, he's going to be sitting behind somebody that's going to not necessarily teach him what to do, but give him the example.
Show him exactly.
He's going to visually show him what he needs to do, and it's going to give him time to adjust to the NFL level. Because that's always been a big irk for me. That you're pick number one, trial by fire. We don't care. We don't care if you're good enough or not. You're going out there. We got you number one pick for our team. We're giving you all this kind of money. You're out there, and I don't like that because sometimes these kids aren't what the team thinks they're going to be. And it stunts their growth as players. It scares them. Instead of progress, there's digression.
No, for sure.
They don't become who we think they can be. And I think in this situation, bringing Kirk Cousins in, having him compete with Mendoza, and if Mendoza doesn't get the starting position, he has somebody he can learn from, and through his experiences. So I just want to throw those 2 cents in there. Sorry.
And you're so right, because again, I don't think Kurt's going to necessarily be the mentor, but he's going to be a guy that's going to at least lead by example, where it's like, hey, you can at least watch Kurt and see how he approaches everything, because Kurt has been through it all. Kurt has bet on himself so many times and has won, with his 1-year contracts, and, teams didn't want to give him a long-term contract. So he just kept, stacking big 1-year contracts because he bet on himself. So, I like that about him. And Kurt, he fought and clawed his way to a starting role, it wasn't given to him. He wasn't drafted to be a starter in this league. Ever. He was drafted just as a depth piece. And now years later, the guy's out here, had a hell of a career, made a ton of money. He did it the right way. So salute to him, man. But I definitely think, that was a huge pickup for, I think a new head coach, a rookie head coach in Kubiak. And I think he's going to be very beneficial for Mendoza as well.
Yeah, definitely will. I think they're making good moves that's allowing the Raider Nation to start believing again.
Yeah.
I'm still not on the hype train, but
we're not drinking Kool-Aid yet, Dub.
Yeah.
We ain't drinking the Kool-Aid yet.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, interesting. Okay. I see what you guys are doing. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But other than those two acquisitions, is there any other free agent that you think might be or will be beneficial to our team this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think they did a good job on defense as well. I think the Quay Walker, he's a linebacker, very athletic, came from, the Eagles. Nakobe Dean, another guy, very athletic linebacker, also from the Eagles. Some injury issues, but when he's healthy, he's he can play. Kwity Paye is a guy. He was a defensive, or he was an edge. He came from a Michigan Wolverine, so he was a guy I liked coming out of college. He can get after it. He's pretty good against the run as well. And he fits our system on defense that we're going to run. So those three guys, I'm excited for. We got some more depth guys. I was surprised that we got rid of our kicker and brought in another kicker, Matt Gay.
Carlson.
Yeah, that was surprising. Even though he did have some inconsistencies, but I think they knew he was coming up on a contract year, but I don't think he would have demanded that much money. So again, I was kind of surprised that we went ahead and let him go. But
it really makes no sense because he had some down games where he wasn't really good, but he closed the season very strong.
Yeah.
He kicked that what was it, 60 some odd yard field goal.
Yeah.
Against and he was actually doing a lot better. His consistency was a lot better.
And the thing is, Matt Gay, he doesn't have that type of leg where he can kick those long. At least within 60, 65, that's at least in Carlson's range. Now, if he makes it or not, that's one thing. But he has a leg to get it there. So
and that's definitely something that was really strange.
Yeah,
he wasn't problematic. He wasn't loud.
Right,
he wasn't complaining. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, that was definitely something that was a head scratcher.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so free agency went well for our team. Now came the draft. Obviously, you knew, I knew, everybody around the world knew our first pick was going to be Fernando Mendoza.
Right.
Even though some of us didn't agree with that, but it is what it is, and I'm happy he's with us. After hearing more of his story, seeing the type of young man that he is, I'm actually getting excited for him to be our future starter, be our future leader for our team. Hopefully he does pan out. But other than that, second on down, what players do you think are going to be a good fit for our team and are going to actually excel from after pick one?
Yeah, so I do want to start at pick one because, I was a guy that was pretty vocal about, not necessarily wanting to spend the pick on him. And again, it wasn't that I didn't like him. I just thought there was some other avenues we could have went. But
so many.
Yeah, but the thing is that now that we got him, I'm all on board with him. And I do like his approach. That's one thing I have to say. I like that you can tell he lives, sleeps, shits, eats ball. He loves the game of football. You're not going to worry about him getting in any kind of trouble. Like he almost has that Tom Brady obsession, to his craft, which, you don't find that too often. So I am excited about that. I don't know. I imagine it's genuine, because sometimes he sounds kind of scripted, but he says all the right things, so he's a guy that, you can get excited about. And I just hope as a team, we continue to build around him. So I'll start there. So, we got him, I'm all on board.
The thing that really got to me as far as Fernando Mendoza, the person, the man, was when he decided not to attend the draft physically.
Yeah.
Not to be at the biggest day to this point in his life, to spend it with his family and friends, celebrate with them. And obviously his mom, being that she has MS, I don't think she was going to be able to travel. And to make that decision To me, that spoke volumes of his character. You know, to where situations like that, yes, they are important, but nothing's more important than family.
Oh yeah.
So that really kind of like hit home with me, and because I ain't gonna lie, when I was a kid, I was a big mama's boy. Only child, single mothers.
Yeah.
So that kind of hit me in the feels. I was like, all right, Fernando, you got me, brother.
Yeah, look at him winning you over a little bit.
Yeah, man. But that's as a person, as a man, not as a football player.
Right.
That is yet to be seen. But yeah, those little aspects of him really did show me, that he definitely has a good head on his shoulders. And then the day after, he goes and parties with the Raider Nation in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The second day of the draft. How awesome was that, though, man? It's just him doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I said, there's a lot to like about him. And again, now that he's officially our quarterback, like I'm all on board. I hope he does phenomenal, gets us a couple Lombardis. So I'm excited to see what happens. But now it's on the coaches and the organization to put all the pieces around him so he can be successful. If he's not successful, I don't think it's going to be because of him. It's going to be because of, stuff outside of his control, because he's going to put the work in. So we do know that.
Yeah, he definitely is. But what about all the other draft picks? Is there anybody else that stood out?
Yeah, so, I won't go through all of them, but, the ones that are definitely stick out. So I actually like our guard, a little guard tackle center. Our lineman from round 3, Trey Zoom.
Mm.
He's a guy that very disciplined player, a guy that can play throughout the whole offensive lineman. I think he actually can be a starter. He's
really?
A guy that, I really do. Yes.
Okay.
So I think he can take one of those guard positions. One thing I love about him is I think they say 2 years he didn't have no penalties or only a couple penalties, which is huge right there. Yeah, we always are so used to guys having, we have a big play, then we see the damn yellow cloth on the damn field because a lineman held or was, false start or something. So, I am excited about him. I definitely excited about him. One of the guys that a lot of people are very excited about is Jermon McCoy. He was the corner from Tennessee. So he was a guy that before he got hurt, so actually 2 years ago, he was by far the number 1 cornerback in the entire nation. And and he's and a lot of people are saying that he could be the steal of the draft. He was a guy that, when healthy, he's by far the best corner in the league. So
yes,
but the thing is, with his with his injury, some people, and the thing with his injury, it's like they're just concerns about how long he'll be able to play at a high level. But the thing is, since he's been hurt, I think he ran like a 4.3 40, in his pro day, and this is after the injury.
Wow.
So, I know the Raiders
right.
Huh?
No, I'm saying, wow, that's fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a dog. He's a dog, man. I mean, he has everything you want in a corner, as far as the size, this hip movement, instinct, recovery speed, just good. So I'm very excited about him. I just hope he can be healthy, because if he can be what I think he can be, if he can be like our cornerback 1, that's going to make things so much better for the entire defense, because it's going to make Max Crosby have a better chance of getting home and getting a sack before the quarterback can throw it. It's going to help Malcolm Cook. It's going to help everybody. So I'm super excited about him. Our other 4th round pick, 4th or 5th, but the backup running back, Mike Washington Jr. Big guy.
That's a big kid, man.
Yeah, big kid, but he has Darren McFadden type home run ability.
Yes. As soon as I saw him, that's who he reminded me of.
Yeah, it's when's the last time we had a guy that could literally take it to the house at any moment, So, but he does have some flaws to his game. He doesn't have the best, he's not the most instinctual runner. Doesn't have the best vision, but he runs hard. And, if he can find a lane, and if the defense doesn't, cover what they're supposed to cover, he can take it to the house. And we haven't had that since Darren McFadden.
Right.
I think he'll be a perfect complement to Genty, so I'm excited about that. So I'll say, just those are the guys that really just kind of got me excited, for this year. So it's on the coach to coach these guys up and develop them.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So free agency went well. Draft. What would you give it as in total as a grade for this year's draft?
So I graded a little bit lower than what a lot of people, a lot of people are, definitely in the A pluses. I'm gonna say, like a B, just because there was, I really hate where our wide receiver room is looking right now. For a team that, got Mendoza, I feel like, we did help them up front with a guard, but I feel like the weapons, we still lack the weapons for a quarterback. We don't really have a true number one receiver. We didn't get a wide receiver in the draft until I think we got him in the sixth round.
Well, do you think that's maybe they're trying to see if last year's picks are going to be maybe filling those positions, because they didn't get to prove it last year.
Right.
They sat most of the year. So do you think
Right.
maybe that could be a possibility of why they didn't go wide receiver?
No, it could be. And it really just depends on what the coaching staff feels about those guys. You got Jack Besh you spent a second round pick. I mean, honestly, the second round pick needs to be starting, at the end of the day. So do I think he's a starting caliber wide receiver? I haven't seen it as of yet. He doesn't really have the skill sets that I see, but I'm not Kubiak. Kubiak is as good as scheming people open, so he might be able to get the most out of them. And I do like Thornton. Well, I did like Thornton coming out of college, but again, he did not do well last year. But again, a lot of that's on coaching. So, this year the coaches are going to have to definitely, earn their keep, man. Like, they're going to have to get those year 2 and year 3 guys going. I'm gonna need to see Jack Besh take a big step up, Thornton take a big step up. Those offensive linemen, you got Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, take a big step up. So it's going to be important that the coaches get the most out of those guys.
Yeah, let's hope that the coaches are seeing stuff that we're not. And
for sure
that it's positive.
For sure,
it's going to be positive for the team. So, okay, draft, all that's gone by. Now, this week we had the big unveiling of our schedule.
Yeah,
which for some reason it's becoming a national holiday.
Yeah, it is
within the NFL. But we finally got our schedule, and it looks okay, I guess. I haven't really kind of put it together as far as the strengths of the teams. I don't want to say it's the most difficult schedule, but it's not the easiest either. I see a lot of fun games, at least for the Raider Nation. And like we were talking earlier, the first 4 weeks are going to be amazing. The home opener, week 1, we're actually going to get week number 1 at home, which is Raider Nation. If you guys haven't gone to Vegas for the home opener, you guys have been missing out. It is a lot of fun up there. But we play the Dolphins. Then right after that, the week after, we're here in LA at SoFi against the Chargers. And again, that's the continuation party from the week before. And then New Orleans, that's another great destination. I can't say much about the team. Maybe we might get a dub there. Then we got KC, Patriots, Buffalo, LA, Jets, San Francisco, going back to NorCal.
Yeah.
We got Seattle, Denver, Cleveland, and then we got our bye pretty late in the season. And then we have Chargers, Broncos, Titans as the season ender in Vegas, and then the last game of the season against KC at KC. So what do you think of our schedule this year, Chris? Is it doable? Is it manageable for us to get some solid wins?
I mean, once I knew who the opponents were, I always said that we're looking at 6-game best case scenario winning. I have us probably either winning about 5 or 6, but the thing is, on paper we have the 7th hardest schedule, You know,
Right.
if they rank it based off of winning percentages of the teams last year. I mean, we play our division, which is going to be tough, and we play the
Right.
NFC West, which is going to be tough. I mean, those are just two tough divisions.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, it gives us an opportunity to show that we're making the right steps. And I think fans like me and you, I think we're realists. So we know we're not going to come out and we're not one of those fans saying, "Hey, we're going to go to the playoffs this year or go to the Super Bowl." Like, we understand that it's going to be a process.
Chess, not checkers.
Yeah, and people say, "Well, Chris, man, you saying we only gonna win 6 games? You're a hater." No, I'm not. Like, honestly, that's double what we'd want. I mean, that's 100%. That's 100% improvement from previous year. I'll take that. Any business will take a 100% year-over-year growth. So, again, I know the bar may be a little low, but I just want to see consistent, progression. I want to see fight in the team. I don't want to see no giving up. The teams that we should beat, I want us to beat them, and the teams that are better than us on paper, I at least want to put up a fight.
Yeah. Just like glimpsing right now, I see 4 to 5 maybe.
Yeah.
Like that I feel somewhat confident that we can win. Obviously, any given Sunday, something could happen. We beat the Chargers 6-3 points one time. So
right.
It could happen.
Right.
So we never know. But no, definitely, I definitely agree that 100% more wins than last year is definitely better, because the year before last we had 4 wins.
Yeah.
And we were looking at least I thought we were going to get 7 to 8 wins.
Yeah, me
we
too.
Didn't get that.
Yeah, me too.
Freaking wins.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I think 6 wins should be doable, or needs to be done, in order to show progress in this team. If not, then I will definitely say with a full guarantee that we are cursed. There is no way in hell that we're ever going to win again, because we have a great new head coach, young, smart, experienced, Super Bowl champion. We have a good young quarterback, smart, and very likable. There's been a lot of good movement within the team, but if we can't do any positive progress, then I'd have to say we're cursed.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the schedule, it definitely does look interesting. You and I were just talking about earlier because if you guys don't know, Chris and I attend at least one game per year together. And we were talking about when we were going to attend. It's a little tight on money this year because season tickets are getting pretty pricey. So we're looking to see which games we're going to attend, but we're definitely going to be out there. You said you were going to be attending the New Orleans game, right? New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. So I'm already booked for the New Orleans trip. I love one of the games there. Whenever we are out there, I always go to that one. Cleveland is right in my backyard, so I'm thinking about doing that. That's actually my birthday weekend.
Well, you gotta go, man.
Yeah. So we'll see. Only thing is it's cold. It's cold around that time, man. It's cold in Ohio, and Cleveland don't got no dome or nothing. So that's the only thing. Whenever we play Cleveland or someone, I always wish it's early in the season, but we'll see.
Right.
Yep. And then of course, going to the game with you, but. And may even going to the home opener, man. So I'm considering that as well. So
yeah, home opener is going to be fire, man. There's definitely a lot of great events. I'm hosting the 2nd annual. I forgot what I called it, but it's it'll be at Tapanash again. Had a blast last year.
I was fire, man. We had a good time.
Yeah,
we had a good time.
It's definitely going to be fun. And then right now, Stogie Nation is taking off, so we're probably going to piggyback on that. And just have a great time, because at the end of the day, Raiders win or lose, Raider Nation always wins the tailgate. That's
for sure.
A fact.
Undefeated.
Fact. But yeah, brother. So is there anything else, advice, pointers, anything that you see with our schedule that we should be looking forward to?
I just think as a fan base, man, we just have to be patient, man. We have to let the process play out. We cannot, we have to curb our expectations.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think the good thing is we'll come out week 1 and get a victory. And I hope Raider Nation doesn't, kind of jump the gun like we always do. Start off with a win. Oh, we're going to the playoffs. Like we have to let it play out, man. Let it play out. But I do think after the first 4 games, I mean, we could potentially be 2-2, or I think that's where I have us. I think I have us at 2-2 after the first 4 games, which is respectable. But then it gets a little dark after that.
Yeah,
it gets a little dark in the middle of that season. And I think we're gonna pull a couple later in the season. But yeah, this Raider Nation, let's just at the end of the day, just be patient. I know it's hard to say that because we've been patient for decades and a lot of heartbreak, but we'll get through it.
But hey, we've been able to take it this long. A year or two.
Was another year, man. It was another year.
It is what it is.
Right.
If you guys want more information, Raider Nation, on actual breakdown of players, of the draft, of the schedule, don't forget to check out my brother Chris 805 and the Severe Raider at the Raider War Room. They go in depth on all this information. If you want to know more about it, go check them out. Go check them out on Chris's channel, on 805's channel, on Severe's channel. They definitely give you they dot all the I's, they cross all the T's when it comes to Raider ball. So check them out. Here we just give you, the pretty little highlights, but they definitely go in depth with all that information. All right, man. So Chris, thanks again for being here. Let the Raider Nation know everything that you're doing, because I know you just had another fire interview with our previous coach. Let them know what you got going.
Oh yeah, man. It's your boy Chris will Protect the Show podcast, where my opinions might not always be popular, they'll always be authentic. And I did have a fire interview with my guy U Jackson. He's always going to be one of my favorite coaches. I know Raider Nation, we had some good times with U Jackson, during that stint. But we had a very good conversation. Being able to kind of pick his brain about Mendoza, Kirk, Clint Kubiak. We talked about Kirk Cousins. He kind of talked about what Mendoza is going to probably be going through as a rookie quarterback. So it was just some good insight. So definitely check that out on my and as you guys know, I have that show with my brothers, man, 805. And the Severe Raider, which is called the Raider War Room. We break down film. We do a lot of deep diving into the Raiders as a whole. And one thing about us, we're not going to sugarcoat stuff. So if you just like hearing a different perspective, we're the channel for you. We're not going to be an echo chamber that says what all the other content creators say. We for sure have our own twist to it, and we for sure are going to bring another perspective, even just to think about. It may not be something that you agree with, but we'll at least give you something just to think about, and then you do what you want with it. Whether say, hey,
and
these guys don't know what they're talking about.
And you do your homework. And you do your homework.
Yeah, we're not going to talk just out of our ass. Everything that we say, a lot of times we have game film to back it up. So
right. No, that's definitely for sure, man. Your show was fire. So Raider Nation, check my brother out. He puts on a fire show with Protect the Shield podcast and with the Raider War Room. All the pertinent Raider ball information that you need, he's got it for you. As far as myself, Raider Nation, right now, I'm on the Stogie Nation tour with the one and only Violator. We're going around Southern California to different cigar lounges. We're actually making up meetups now. So while we do our recording, we invite the Raider Nation to come through, hang out, have a stick, have some conversations. It's a lot of fun. We're having another one May 30th at Blue Flame Cigar Lounge in the city of Torrance, California. If you guys are in the neighborhood, come through. It's a free event. It's adults only, unfortunately, because it is a cigar lounge. So, no kiddos. I'm sorry. And then also Raider Nation roll call. I just had a few shows. I spoke to Lorenzo from Raider Crusaders, which he's doing his event. As you're watching this, Saturday, the Raiders summer kickoff, Raider Nation summer kickoff in Bakersfield. I'm going to be over there. So we talked about that event. I spoke to Joe Morley, another great content creator, very funny guy, and he's also just become a comedian, stand-up comedian. So, I interviewed him doing coverage for the Black Hole Northern California, Northern Nevada chapters barbecue and car show coming up, I believe in June or July. I don't remember the date. It's going to be an episode on that. So check it out. Like, subscribe, follow, and always here with my friend, my brother, Chris from Protect the Shield. We will be here for you. Again, we say it's a weekly wire, but it's more when there's pertinent information to give you. We're not going to sit here and just, speculate and talk out of our ass just because we want to be on here. We're going to be on here when we have information to give you. That's what we're all about. We're trying to be as real as possible and give you as much information as possible in a short period of time. So again, Raider Nation, thanks for being here. Chris, good seeing you again, brother. And remember, Raider Nation, everything we do is for the nation, by the nation. Peace. Raider, let's go.